What's up, guys? It's your boy, the Jack, kicking back into a fire video. And today, as you can see by the title, we're doing 1999 Chapter 2. Well, no, Part 2 even. Sorry. Yeah, let's just get right into it. No time to waste. Update, February 10th, 2010. I would have been 4 years old. Good news, guys. I talked to my friend's dad and he disclosed a lot of information for me. Firstly, I asked if the police had any information on the guy who ran Caledon Local 21. He replied that they only had the same leads for years and never found a suspect. However, the Peel Regional Police had a few of the tapes and the Caledon found the house Caledon Local 21 was broadcasted from. He took me over to watch so I could watch a few. I guess I haven't said much about him yet. My friend's dad is named Mitchell Wilson. Pretty nice guy. He seems to understand my thirst for knowledge about what happened during the late 90s at that house. He feels it was wrong that my dad went so long without telling me much. He took me to the Davis Road Police Station. If you don't know, it's the largest station in Caledon and one of the largest within the Peel region itself. Each of the main stations around Peel have had some of the tapes. I was able to watch all of the footage that the Davis Road Station has. Unfortunately, I wasn't allowed to take any of the tapes home for obvious reasons. Paint of the Soul, Episode 10, Garbage Thrown Away. Paint of the Soul was one of the first shows that I Am Real Life and Siggy 2092 discussed on Neo Seeker. I discussed the police about this and they informed me that 12 episodes of the show were made and broadcasted between December 5th, 1997 and January 8th, 1998. Exactly as I Am Real Life and Siggy 92 described, the episode opened with the cameraman wandering around in a forest. It appeared to be the evening as the sun was setting. The cameraman walked along a path until they got to an area where there was lots of garbage lying in the leaves. The camera looked around at the various wrappers, bottles, bags and boxes, making sure each of the items got a few seconds of screen time. Then the camera focused on a single area before the man spoke. I recall he spoke in a very timid, quiet voice. And I swear I've heard it somewhere else before, like on another Caledon Local 21 show. Mr. Bear, probably. Definitely Mr. Bear. But he mainly, I could barely hear what he was saying, but he mainly talked about how humans are garbage or something like that. He had to do with saving ourselves by cleaning up the garbage, us. Actually sounded really stupid, but still a feeling of dread came over me. I mean, not far as possible where those bodies were found, right? Mr. Bestseller, episode 25. When the police administrator brought this tape in, I actually said, "Oh shit," and I chuckled a bit out loud. Of course, I got stares from the staff at Wilson, explained to them about my little experience with Mr. Bear and how I still kept the letter he sent me. Like the previous episodes, this one included a guy wearing a bear mascot costume. The episode began with Mr. Bear walking over to a cellar door with a bottle of orange juice in his paws. On the ground were 16 shot glasses as well as a small bottle containing an unknown liquid. He's an alcoholic. Mr. Bear poured an equal amount of orange juice into each glass before opening the smaller bottle and depositing one of the drops into the glasses. Mr. Bear then went off camera. There were some minor sounds such as shuffling, and then Mr. Bear emerged from behind the camera's location. Following him were 16 children. Some had looked as 4, while others looked like they were practically teenagers. As the children entered, the administrator commented that this is the only episode that showed all of the 16 victims. The kids all looked rather content except for the one kid who had visible bruises on his face. And unlike the other kids, he had a more fearful expression. He looked about 11 or 12, which caused me to recognise him. He was a kid who had asked about his sister and subsequently met an unknown face at the end of episode 23. That one episode I watched during 1999, July. When I told the administrator this, he confirmed that was the same kid. It was also featured in episode 24, an episode that only aired once at 3 o'clock in the morning in July 1999. The police still have not found the tape. Mr. Bear then broke into song, singing about citrus fruits and how good vitamin C is for you. I could barely hear the lyrics, so they were muffled by the bear mask. The kids all drank their juice, the one from episode 23 doing it rather reluctantly, and then the episode ended. After viewing the tapes in possession of the Davis Road Police Station, I'm satisfied, but only temporarily. I still want to know a full story. The police just gave me the same crap about the career of Caledon Local 21 being a fetishist paedophile as well as an apparent cultist. I'll sign off for now. Get into university first, and then information later. Hopefully I'll be able to get back on this blog as soon as I can. Update, May 8th, 2010. Last month I finally got my G2 licence in Ontario, Canada. This allows you to drive a car by yourself as well as with some passengers after 6 months. I, of course, took advantage of this and drove into Caledon for a little Sunday drive. Since I haven't updated this blog in a while, I figured I might as well visit the house where the infamous channel of my childhood was located. The house looked different than when I last saw it in October. The place was no longer a daycare and just sat there abandoned. However, it did have a for sale sign showing someone still owned it, wanted to get rid of it though. Hold on, there's a little thing there. There we go. The abandoned house drew fuzzy memories from my mind, mainly of that day when my dad took me to visit Mr. Bear. A feeling of dread came upon me. What happened to the children while they were living in that house? I walked up the steps to the front door and peered through the window. Inside I could see a nearly empty hallway with a few boxes at the end. At the end of the hallway to the right was an open doorway that I was presuming leading into the kitchen. To the left were 2 doors, both apparently leading to where rooms visible through the windows outside. I wondered where the cellar entrance was located and whether it had been sealed up. I walked around to the back of the house and found my answer. 2 wooden doors lying at an almost flat angle were padlocked shut. This had to lead to the cellar. Not wanting to hang around, you can't imagine what was going through my mind at that time. I departed. Behind the house, the empty field continued until it reached a dense forest line without the horizon. I wonder if that was the forest where the bodies of the children were found. I thought to myself, fuck it. I proceeded to walk across the field behind the house into the forest. The forest was oddly quiet, save for the few periodic sounds of a woodpecker drilling into a distant tree. I cautiously made my way deeper into the woods, not really caring about the fact that I had no idea where I was going. I don't know how to explain it, but it felt like something I had to find. I came to a thinner part of the woods and a few small houses in the distance. Paulo's house crossed my mind, and I wondered if one of the homes had belonged to him. I neared a small clearing, which I could see 3 adequately sized logs gathered around a black, charred area, showing a small fire been lit there recently. Hey! Get the fuck out of my fort! Those words nearly gave me a heart attack. I turned to my left and saw 2 dark-clothed people running towards me. My initial thought was to run, however, as they came closer, I saw they were just kids in their early teens, possibly 13 or 14, maybe even 12. As they approached me, they realised they realised my size as well. I'm 6'1". While they could have been no bigger than 5'8", one might have been 5'7". We said, "Get the fuck out." Bruh. The one who was wearing a Slipknot shirt. Oh no! Creatively was there, said half-heartedly. I stood my ground and shrugged. The one who was wearing a Metallica shirt put out a butterfly knife and held it in my direction. No, you wouldn't want to, I said in a deep, serious tone. Trying to sound as badass as possible. I pulled out my cell phone. The 2 kids withdrew, the one in the Metallica shirt putting the knife away. Look, dude, we don't like it when people enter our forest. Can you just go? The one in the Slipknot shirt said, obviously intimidated. I had no business in the forest anyway, so I was out a simple fine. And turned before I realised I had a great opportunity. Did either of you hear a guy who murdered a bunch of kids in the woods about 13 years ago? I asked the kids. The 2 looked at each other in confusion before the one wearing the Metallica shirt answered. Yeah, everyone knows about that guy, he said to me as if I was stupid. The kid in the Slipknot shirt continued. He still lives somewhere around here in the storm drain. My big brother found him, says I was wearing a bear costume once, wandering around the forest at night. My instincts told me it was probably a lie. And the owner of Caledon Local 21 is probably long gone, only existing as a folklore in the smaller, isolated community. However, as a human, the thought of just the mysterious unknown sparks interest within. And where's the storm drain? I asked, just out of curiosity. I don't actually believe the kid's story. Sure. The kid in the Metallica shirt stared at me for a few moments, his eyes seemingly full of annoyance yet curiosity for me. You're not from around here, are you? Why do you even come here? Now, I do admit I was slightly startled by the nature of his question. Although I figured I might as well explain why I was there, just in case people mistook my intentions. I told the 2 kids about my experience with the man and Caledon Local 21, and that I'd come to maybe seek out some sort of closure, although I wasn't even exactly sure. The kids seemed familiar with the channel as they seemed to smile and give each other nods, looked at each other when I mentioned it. They also became more understanding and gave me a detailed explanation on how to get to the storm drain. Shortly after, I decided to just turn around the way I came from and head back to the house, leaving the kids at their fort. But now probably why I left out such detail about where the kids told me now. Just because I'm choosing to conclude what I've gathered now. Here's what the kids told me in detail. The storm drain lies ahead of the kids' fort, the same direction I was heading. The drain ends at a small river which excess water is drained out. Near here is a small playground. The kids told me people rarely use it. That man supposedly lives in the large pipe that the rainwater drains out of. People have seen him, although he's either wearing a bear mask or a full bear costume. No, so I do not believe this is true, and in fact I believe simply a myth made by the residents of Caledon. The story does not seem plausible in any way. Why did no one call the police? Didn't this guy look suspicious? Any other questions like these leave the story invalid. I may visit the storm drain, not because I believe the kid's story, but because I want an excuse to visit Caledon again, so this blog doesn't die. With no more tips to watch, I don't know what to talk about anymore. Thank you for continuing the support with me on my blog. I know people are looking forward to information about what happened to the kid in Caledon during the year 1999. And I'll continue my best to continue my topic. Elliot out. Update. October 7th, 2010. Oh, that's 3 days before my birthday. Also, I'm gonna be 16 in 5 years, so I'm an old ass man now. Ha! Wow, nearly 5 months until that's updated. I'm guessing everyone pretty much thought I was dead, right? Thankfully I'm not. But in all my seriousness, I've been really busy these past few months. And a blog about something that could have killed me as a kid is a little low on my current life priorities. As of now, I'm living in Waterloo, Ontario, attending the University of Waterloo for computer engineering. Yeah, I'm a keener. I don't know what that means. As you can imagine, engineering is no walk in the park, so obviously I never forgot about this blog, but as you can see now, I'm back. I remember to visit the storm drain the kids from Caledon local the forest told me about. It was out in a clearing between wooded areas, nearby a marsh. Unfortunately, I found absolutely nothing, save for a turtle that retreated into its built-in home when it saw me. I snapped some pictures of the pipe which I've posted as well. Also, let me tell you, it was not a storm drain like they said it was. I think they know! When I saw it was a simple pipe, possibly to channel the excess water from the marsh. When I returned from Caledon, however, I kept simply putting off uploading until I forgot all about my blog. It just didn't seem important anymore, please forgive me. It wasn't until only recently that I was interested in my case again. On September 10th, I received an email from this address, returntheb@hotmail.com. Funny, am I right? Well, it gets better. I'm going to copy-paste the exact email this guy sent me. Dear Elliot, my dear, dear boy. You may not see this. You see this story may or may not have been true, but it could happen. There are many slots for airtime if you have the money on the right public access TV channel. Some public access channels that share airtime like EWTN, religious channel, based out of Michigan, bruh. Wow. These show Catholic-based programming, but off air. Hold on, where am I at? But during off-air hours, have independent shows or just blue screen. Cable channels of empty channels available for rent space. So, the scenario of a pedo renting a channel on basic TV is not far-fetched at all. However, public access TV is widely reviewed and can be terminated at any time. These are the rules of the United States, not for Canada, where this story took place. Bruh. So this is likely not the US. So if it's something in the US, the pedo would likely be tracked down and arrested immediately. Yes, this story could happen, but it's unlikely. 100 fuzzy hugs, Mr. Bear. Now, obviously, this letter is fake and sounds almost corrupted, but still, I would like to thank whoever sent it. No, they could use some English lessons. Just reading this letter creeped me out, but because of it, I'm now full of new interest to continue my blog. That's just so very convenient. I guess it's just funny trying to pursue the mysteries I've always questioned. Now my roommate knows all about this. He thought the letter was real and actually seemed more scared than I was for a second. But then I shrugged it off, so he did too. I mean, what are the chances of this being real? I would Mr. Bear know all about this public access TV. And about when I was to Caledon on those occasions. More or less know my email, so I'll be interested in this seller. Ha. I'm going to send a reply to return the B while just looking at the email address. You can tell someone wanted to freak me out. It really didn't work though, although, to whoever you are, thank you for sparking my interest back into this full matter. Maybe I can find more about what happened to Mr. Bear, hopefully. Although I don't buy that email, a part of me still feels anxious. Thank you for those who are still following me and become avid fans. As you know, you are also the reason why I'm continuing to do this. Alright, I'm going to read this last thing and then going to end off the video. Wow, I can't believe this blog hasn't been deleted yet. I haven't checked it for so long. I have my reasons and I'd rather not discuss them just yet. It's just been a rather traumatic month for me. Some of you were right, I shouldn't have gone back to try and relieve the mysteries of my childhood, but I couldn't resist. It's been a whole month since my last post about, and a lot has happened. Let's recap where I'm at right now in regards to the whole Mr. Bear incident. returntheb@hotmail.com is no longer in use. I tried applying to the email, but I got no reply. I tried again a while back, still no response. I've actually moved up to Ottawa, capital of Canada for those who don't know, for university. So I haven't been back to Caledon or back home in the Peel region for a long time. I have my reasons for leaving, as you could guess why. I guess I've had to make a new email because people keep prank mailing me, pretending to be Mr. Bear. Thanks a lot, guys. Not. Why I have ventured back to this blog? Mitchell Whitson, remember my dad's ex-cop friend, gave me a phone call on October 23rd about a tape that was found in a branch of the Brampton Public Library. Brampton is my hometown, in case you haven't picked up on that. It claims he's not allowed to discuss the contents of the tape as it is still in evidence. But he asked me to come check the tape out when I return home. That tape got the gears grinding again because we know someone who was on the last tapes I saw. I can only imagine what must be on it. I'm guessing it must have something to do with Caledon Local 21. I guess I just wanted to say I'm continuing with this blog and thank you for everyone who still follows it. I don't know when my next entry will be, but when I see that tape, I'll write down what I find. I don't know what to find, but the idea of seeing another tape's got me interested in this whole mystery all over again, Elliot. And that was part 2. Yeah, that's actually quite good. Speaking of Slipknot shirts, actually, I actually got myself a Slipknot shirt, and I really like it. It's very comfy. It's from the "We're Not Your Kind" album cycle. So yeah, that was a little fun thing. Oh, that does not smell good. This is my room, by the way. So yeah, that was part 2. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and that's been the Chat Kid out.